Good morning. You're not going to believe what's just happened. I'm going to take my vitamins at the same time, so you're going to hear a bit of a racket. I may have to go back to sleep after I've had my breakfast, though, because I'm tired, but I'm going to tell you why. Amber just helped me pull off quite the scientific experiment. So remember the other day when the phone went down after I had that dream about the Virgin Mary? Um, and I just made that video about the dream I had with Amber, the world domination of America dream. And I said, I'm going to have to check the phone and everything and see if there were any surges, any unusual activity with the phones and internet and all that, because Three Mobile provide my internet for my phone. And I've started noticing a pattern that when I have dreams about certain people who are coming through from the other side, there's massive power surges and power failures and all of that in my surrounding area. When they started messing with my phone, I powered up in a way that I'm literally taking the power out of their hand and putting it in mine, so that I can use quantum magnetics. Now, I've put a link in the description box of a video that I took. I felt a surge of energy. I hit record on my phone and I caught something on camera that I've showed you a snippet, but there is a longer video where these wisps start turning up. And then it was hours later I found out that Amber was going into the hospice, that she was dying. She was letting me know that she was crossing over. The video is I have video of my cat Ghibli doing the exact same thing. In the hours leading up to us taking him to the vet to put him to sleep, I have videos of the same thing coming off my cat's body. And he's facing the door in the video. And in my culture, when dying people are facing the door, it means that the door's opening, they're getting ready to cross over into the afterlife. Which is why in my culture we don't sleep with our feet towards the door, because it's the death position. So in this video that I took just before Amber died, there's all this activity on the video and I'm trying to debunk it. And then this wisp comes out of nowhere and I tried to debunk it. But I couldn't, especially then when I got the news that Amber was getting ready to go. I knew that it was her soul getting ready to leave her body. And in physics, it's called quantum entanglement. Now, you know, I've always taught you, kiddies, that when the dead communicate, the easiest way for them to do it is through their sleep. It's through our sleep. Because if they've been reincarnated, if they've been born, they can't just turn up as their old selves because their old biological self is dead. So they connect to us through quantum entanglement in our sleep. And I was asking for her last night, saying, come and show yourself, blah, blah, blah. And she did in her sleep, because she can't do it like she did in that video as energy, as thought energy when she was alive. Like I was saying to my son about how orbs are basically thought bubbles. And we're catching, when you see orbs, you're documenting someone thinking about you, whether they're alive or dead, which is why often you'll see faces inside the orbs of people who have crossed over, and it's just their way of letting you know in a really clean, easy, quantum entanglement kind of way, I'm thinking about you. I might be a new person and I'm probably asleep or daydreaming or, God forbid, in a coma or something like that, but I'm thinking about you and you're seeing it. It's the dead reminding you that they're still there without having to defy the laws of physics to do it. With what I documented with Amber, it's a classic case of quantum entanglement. It's, the quantum thread. The wormholes look exactly like the neurons in the brain. And what I recorded was one of those threads. It was a thread in the fabric of time. And it's quite an extraordinary piece of science. So then I was saying to her, I miss you so much. This is after I hung up from my son, and I I caught some stuff, but I didn't put it up because I just wanted to connect to my girl. And I was saying, come to me, show yourself to me, like I really miss you. And then I went to sleep. This was just before midnight, I believe, somewhere between 11 and midnight, I believe. And then obviously I had this dream about her. And when I recorded the dream, I said, I'm going to have a look and see if the phones were playing up. Well, let me tell you, between me having the conversation with my son about my girl and me um, waking up to record the dream, not only did 3Mobile go through a massive surge and fluctuation of their servers and systems going down. I've got screenshots I'm going to show you. I'll put the link in the description box once I tidy up the screenshots. YouTube started playing up at the same time. They're still having problems with it. The surges were all at the exact same time, so I thought that's really interesting. So I checked my national power grid for Northern Power in my area, and I'm smack bang in the middle of like a kind of like a triangle of where there's been power cuts. So at the same time as 3Mobile went through, went down, YouTube went down, and my national power grid within a triangulated area of where I am, I'll show you the photos, suffered power cuts. So Amber coming through in that dream, after I summoned her, after I called for her, she came to me in that dream, and in order to do it, she had to suck the life out of the phone and YouTube and the national power grid in my area. Hang on. Because, which means, because remember I said she was a portrait, an oil painting, and it came to life? She manifested in the physical in my dream. Remember I said when I was recording it, I was looking at her and it felt like she was real, like she was really there. So she's defied even the physics that I understood, because she didn't manifest in the physical, she manifested physically in my dream. And she stood back and opened that window thing that opened, like it kind of like, it's like the portrait, the frame of the portrait opened up, and behind it was the map of America with all my little businesses on it, which is really funny because it looks like the national power grid of where all the power went down around my area at the time that I was getting ready to have that dream and actually had that dream. She was gathering energy from my local area. She was gathering it from, because I fell asleep as well with my YouTube going. And so YouTube was just playing, and yeah, YouTube went down, 3 went down, and so what I was listening to went down, what I was listening to on went down, and then massive power surges in and around me, but none of it affected me. It affected everyone else around me, but not me personally. Which means she's in between the physical and the etheric. It means that she's starting to manifest back into physical reality. She's getting ready to be conceived. She's in between death and birth. And I'll put a link in the description box to prove that scientists have come out and said, do you know there's a space in the time, there's a space in time, there's a space in the universe that's between life and death? And I'm like, well, yeah, duh, it's what I've been saying this whole time. I'll put that video up. She's, because I've been saying this is what I've been trying to say to you, white, ignorant scientists and that for. This is what I've been trying to say to you, to white science for the longest time. There is an in-between world. We call it the ethers. And it's where your ancestors and the conscious memory of all your loved ones live right before they have access to the creation frequency, where they then, their atomic structure is reformatted and then they come back again out the other side. All scientific fact. And this is what I'm saying. When people mock my science, when people mock what I do, it's like all it's doing is making you look like ill-informed, uneducated, close-minded, like stop having opinions on things you know nothing about. This is my science of over nearly 50 years. And I was almost murdered. I was almost killed. I was almost put dead and buried in a pauper's grave in the ground because people judged and mocked my science, because people stole my science, because people tried to copy my science. They didn't want me being the one to develop and discover this science, so it was better to shut me up and try and remove me from the earth rather than have me recorrect everything that people are getting wrong. Because if people know the truth about what happens before you die and after you die, I've wiped the paranormal industry out. I've crushed religion. I've kicked the ass of science. CERN might as well just shut down and not exist anymore, because I've proven that you don't need any of it. Just faith and my science. You need to go through an ascension. You need to cleanse and purify your body. You need to step into the faith of the unknown. And she's proven that the God phone is real. That when you have a person's phone number, I call them codes. When you put those person's codes into that phone, you can call them up. And I just did that with Amber. And my son witnessed it. So I'm going to put the screenshots up to show you that YouTube and my phone and the power company all suffered at the same time, from when I was having the conversation and started calling her down to when I went to sleep and woke up and recorded the dream. It's all there. All three of them at the same time. Except I was in the eye of the storm, where I was pretty much, it looks like, the only person in my region not affected by it. And it's triangulated as well. So, and I'll put the link in the description box of the video where I was like, see, I told you, the afterlife is real. There is a between stage. So this is white science trying to claim new discoveries that I've been talking about for years. Because Indigenous people know this stuff. We know how this works. So then when white minds come along and go, you know, oh, that's a mental illness, it just goes to show how Little they know about everything. You know nothing. You don't know anything about this. So don't have an opinion. And don't try and poison me, and don't label me with names I don't deserve. Just because you don't understand a cutting edge trailblazing science, it doesn't make the scientist mentally ill. It just makes them more advanced than you. And it's your ego that won't let you admit the truth. So those doctors and cops and Chris and Musk and that decided that I was better off dead than to have my science be recognised, because then otherwise it does them out of an industry. It screws up it screws up AI, it screws up CERN, it screws up Musk planned for space travel, it screws up Chris's business at Freya's Cauldron, it screws up their cult, it puts their cult in the ground, it buries them and puts a headstone on it, as well as a lot of psychics, mediums, parapsychologists, paranormal investigators, people on the internet who think that they know what they're talking about, scientists who looked at me and said, how does she know that? Like, she can't know that. She's dumb, she's uneducated, she doesn't even wear shoes, she's a black blood. None of her makes sense. So lock it away, shut her up, label her with names and derogatory, egregious names that I don't deserve, slander my name, steal my work, claim my work as your own. Like, that's what I've been dealing with. And then Amber's come along and said, nah, auntie, don't listen to them. Look. And then it was the map of America with all my businesses. But then, doing the investigation, I've had to look at a map of the UK with little dots surrounding my area. So she was helping me prove that I've just coupled quantum and entanglement with quantum magnetics. She's come down like a god to defend my side of the argument, that I know what I'm talking about. And my physics is unreal. My physics is out of this world and so far beyond the realms of normal scientific minds, and even people who have nothing to do with the realms of science, like psychiatrists and presidents and oligarchs. I absolutely mopped the floor with them. Thank you very much. So now I really am Deborah in the Bible, because remember, she conjured the dead. She conjured Barak to help fight in her army. Well, I just conjured my Amber Rose, my Amber Marie. I just conjured my Amber, my Roja Blanca, my White Rose. And she's coupled that first video with that last stream. She's merged. She's helped me merge quantum entanglement with quantum magnetics, because quantum magnetics is manipulating time to manifest reality. And I said to her, come to me, Amber Rose. She's my Amber Rose. And she did. And she shouldn't be able to, because she's dead, but she's not quite reborn. So I hope this means she's coming down to me, because I said to her, come and get in my uterus, come and be with me. So I'll put the screenshots up. Just give me a minute to chop them down, or I might not, because I mean, it is time stamped, but you'll see it all there for yourself. So how powerful am I? And because the same thing happened with Ann Whitaker. Remember, I said I'm going to try and see if I can read any of her codes, but technically, because you're dealing with the God particle, which they call the God phone, they call it the God phone. Well, the scientists that my teacher worked with did. I'm just putting in their cosmic phone number and ringing them up, and then they're answering my call. Or, like in the case of Amber, her phone was ringing when I caught that. The wisp, the quantum thread. So how powerful am I? And see, when I design my gaming chair, whether I get my space program or not, but I'm really hoping that I can build my space navigation system. You wait till you see what the God phone can really do, because this isn't even it manifested into reality yet. But when I've got you in that chair, and you'll be able to physically see it. You'll be able to physically see the call connecting to the cosmic universe through the God phone. So I know I say that, white scientists, they always put everything in a tangible object, but this is the other way. This isn't physics being pulled down into Earth. This is Earth rising to meet the physics. This is the person generating the connection between Earth and the universe. It wouldn't work with you in it. You become the phone line. You become the thing that the conduit that rings the phone. And it means that people who haven't gone through ascensions will experience it. It means people who have gone through ascensions will have their minds blown. It means people who are terminally ill or contemplating their fate or deciding their fate, if you know what I mean, people who want to do things by their own hand, they'll be able to talk to God before they've even crossed over, because they will rise to meet the God consciousness through my science, which couples quantum entanglement with quantum magnetics. And technically, what I've created, my space navigation program and my gaming chair, isn't turning the science into a tangible thing. They're two completely separate inventions used for completely separate purposes that, when coupled together, will allow people to have their moment with God and their loved ones on the other side. They will rise to meet them in the ethers, which is the sixth element. The seventh element being, underworld, earth, fire, water, air, ether, creation, birth, reincarnation, rebirth, reincarnation, ninth element. So, the sixth element is the ethers. And the ninth element is proving that when we die, our cells are reborn and we reincarnate as other people. Rebirth, reincarnation, resurrection of the dead. That's the ninth element. So you die, or you go through an ego death, you go through the death process. Then the earth process, which is like coming up from the underworld and transforming your life in 3D physical reality. Then you've got fire, which is passion and drive and determination, reconnecting with people you love, going through a purification process. Then you've got water, which is, your emotional state and healing childhood traumas and connecting with your intuition, trusting your instincts, your intuition, and going through an emotional process where you let out all your emotions and you cry and you grieve and you heal and all of that. Then you've got air, which is learning to communicate and speak your truth. connecting your intuition and your instinct and your emotions and your mental state, and putting it all together in a practice that allows you to speak what you've experienced and talk about what you know with a pure heart. Then you've got the ethers, which is when, after you've gone through all of that, you learn to reconnect to your ancestral roots. You find out, you trace your ancestors, you find out where you came from, exactly where you came from, on a anthropological, biological, cellular, blood level. You find out about like the true origins of your roots from the inside out, while also connecting to um, your ancestral gods and your ancestors and your deceased loved ones. Then you've got the creation frequency, which is when, after all of that, you step into trusting the kind of faith that allows you to take everything you've experienced and everything you've learned to step into your true power and take your place on the throne with which you have been ordained to govern, which means you become the best in your field. You become the master of your own reality, the master of your own creation. Then you have birth, which is starting all over again, stepping into a new life as a new you with everything new, brand new, and then rebuilding it in a whole new version of yourself. And then comes reincarnation, which is when death itself no longer exists. Proof that when you die, you inevitably come back. That your birth has created a reboot, like it's like your the new version of you has created a version of you based on the old versions of you and everything you went through. Reincarnation. And then after that, as the underworld again, because then, of course, we go through the cycle of birth and death, and we're born, we live, we die, and we live based on who we used to be. Like we pay off our karmic debt from past lives, ancestral karmic debt, and all of that. So I am and you are all the versions of yourself that needed to learn lessons all the other times you lived that you didn't get right, that you pay off in this time. So I was reincarnated as me to get all the versions of myself that I got wrong right this time around, to pay off any and all karmic debt, including anything that I got wrong in this life. That's the ninth element. But I needed physical, tangible proof as a scientist to be able to say, here's the evidence. And Amber's just done that. So, if I'm right, and I know I'm right, but I think this means that within the next 12 months, I'm going to meet my husband and I'm going to get pregnant. That's the last bit to come true. That's the last bit to prove at 53. I'll get pregnant. And I said she better come back as a girl, because I got two boys. I need a girl, because I need a girl to pass some of my knowledge on to. So yeah, it means that I should be getting pregnant within the next 12 months, and if I'm right, it will be naturally. I'll get pregnant naturally without medical help, and thus the miracle. Um, People were doing it in the Bible all the time, getting pregnant at like 153. Like John the Baptist's parents had babies like when they were like ancient, and then from what I understand, according to the ancient prophecy and the laws of evolution, divine evolution, she will be born alongside the new Messiah, and he will govern the new world and take humanity into space, and she will take over my space program, and together they'll work together to take us to the final frontier, because we have permission to do it. Musk and that doesn't. That's why Musk and NASA have to lie about everything, and they're hemorrhaging money and they're failing and everything blows up, because you have to have permission to break through the filament, to to access the new horizon. And I have that permission. So I'll be helping people ascend, like the rapture, but less dramatic, and nobody has to die. It's all done before you die, giving you access to the afterlife before you die, so you can have your moment with God. And Amber's literally just helped me prove it, but in order to do it, because what we've just pulled off is quite monumentally huge, she needed to take from 3 Mobile, YouTube, and the National Power Grid. That's how powerful I am. It's a good thing I'm not evil, eh? Could you imagine what I could do to people if I was evil? Or vindictive? Or like revengeful? Revenge. I get my revenge through justice and karma. Thank you. I want my revenge through the courts. And yeah, I'm untouchable now, baby. Come at me now and I'll zap you. Go. Wouldn't it be just... What if I actually pointed my finger and electricity came off my finger and I zapped them? It'd be like, oh, I can never remember his name. From Running... Not... The Running Man? Was it? No. What's that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he has to fight in the gladiator arena, and that man's got the electricity and he's got that metal cage on? I'm like that. I'm literally a walking, talking, big mouth, gobby, sarcastic energy weapon. So anyway, I'll put the links in, and yeah, look at the posts. I'm going to go and finish my breakfast. I'll speak to you later. I'm coming, America. Get ready. Mwah.